So of the boy who just knew how to drive the bus.
I have a feeling this is going to be a series, Julian. Okay, so I'm going to use myself as an example. I went to a group meditation thing when I was first starting out, and I was asking about, like, there was this lady and she was standing in front of me and she could see guides and stuff. I didn't know anything about any of that stuff. She was doing a singing bowl and I was just there, and she was like, when your heart heats up, it will be the one. You will know it is the one. So I'm walking around to my friends, to strangers, to everybody. Like, anytime someone talk to me, I'm like, on my heart, like, what she mean my heart will heat up? I don't even know what that means. Like, I don't even know what that means. Because I just started. I don't know what that means. Heart palpitation, speed up. I had no clue until it happened. So, I don't like to talk about twin flames very often, but there was someone who was very significant in my journey, in my awakening process. And in order for my awakening process to start, I needed to meet him. I needed to meet him for moving, for everything. So, when I was talking to him, my heart heated up so much that it filled the room I was in with heat. I had never experienced anything like that before. So I knew without a doubt, because that lady told me, my heart will heat up and I will know. And it was him. And that started my spiritual awakening. Fast forward to like 2 or 3 years later, knowing that I needed to heat my heart up, I heated it up. Like the past version of me, I heated my own heart up. The whole point of the series that I made before, and I said past lives, but as all time is now, it can be a inner child healing as well. So if you have, the whole point of it was, people get really upset about a guy in the sky who saves some people and lets some people die. How can God let babies die of cancer? How can God in the sky let horrible, evil things happen to people? Car accidents, natural disasters, weapons, death like this, worse, trauma where they live still. How, if there is a God in the sky, how does he let that happen? And then how come some get miracles and they get saved? That's the point of this series. I should have died so many times. My kids should have died so many times. So many times. But I'm spiritually aware. Like, I'm awake and I'm aware, not better than, just aware of my ability to time travel. That's it. And because I am, when I do inner child healing, I awaken it and I help now. When I heal my old stuff, I've healed that timeline for that version of me. And since that version of me is healed, the timeline switched and now I'm on that path. Because there's tons of different timeline options. But the path I'm on now is the path that is healed. So back to answer your question, that guy, the kid, in a different timeline, he actually died. He did not drive the bus. He did not save everybody. Okay, specifically that kid that was in that video that I talked about. So on a different timeline, he died. So his reincarnated self did past life work and went to that moment and healed it, so now he lives. But I'm in the reality where he lives. I wasn't in the reality where the bus crashed and died, because that's the dimension and timeline I was in. Is this making sense? Your trauma continues, your soul remembers until you heal it. You know how you hear, like, your generational curses and trauma ends with you? That's what it's talking about. It doesn't mean that you erase the trauma that you've already had. It means that you heal it so that your now person is on the healed timeline and your future you is healed. It doesn't have that trauma in them anymore. We're not wiping the memory. We're healing the trauma. Alright, I might be going too far now, but I'm gonna go into it. So the last life I had seen, like the most recent life, I died in around 1970, 70, 71. It was a car accident. I was a guy. I was drinking while driving. My wife at the time, who is the guy that's in my life now, his brother was in my lap. And the guy, my wife, in the past life, was pregnant. And the kid in my lap, which was his brother, energetically picked up on my alcoholism, and everybody died. We crashed. It correlates with current life stuff too, like big time. My past lives go back to back to back to back to back to back to back on the Earth's timeline and before Earth. That's neither here nor there. Not to mention the oversoul thing where we split out, but oh my gosh, that's a big topic. So last year, I ended up seeing a life before the life in 1970, which was really bad. Like, I was a soldier who hurt women. It was really bad. And it also made sense as to why I was depressed, miserable, and drunk in my next incarnation. I hadn't healed any of it. Hadn't healed any of the crap. I had so much crap built up. I was not spiritual at all. I had not healed any of it. But that one little space of time, that life right before the 1970 life, I hadn't seen it yet. I had seen tons of my other past lives, but not that little space of time. So when I saw it last year, I had already healed so much crap from my previous lives before that one on the Earth's timeline. Like if you go in order, I healed a bunch before that one. So by healing that last puzzle piece, I no longer have the life in 1970. Now I'm some hippie skater guy in 1960s living in California, not over on the East Coast at all. Something kind of interesting about my current life is I was really into like skater stuff and punk rock, and it just didn't make sense. It didn't fit into any of my past lives before until it was healed, and now I have that life in the 60s. But if my current life had that, I already healed it. I just didn't catch up with that reality yet. Does that make sense? Maybe not. It's a hard concept. I hope I can get at least a little bit out there. Let me touch on this, because I've touched on this before, but I'm going to go ahead and add it to this because we're already on a roll. Let's go ahead with it. From what I have seen about karma, now let me show you the definition. The sum of a person's actions in this and previous states of existence viewed as deciding their fate in future existence. I absolutely agree. Just not the way that most people do, based off of everything that I've seen working with myself and others. Say it's your first time on Earth, your very first existence incarnated, not just on Earth, anywhere. It's the very first soul spark of life in a three-dimensional form on any planet. You incarnate with your soul family. You all come here together. It's a fresh, clean slate. You fall in love with some guy over here that's not part of your soul family, and you promise to love them forever. Something happens and you die. The next life, you might have about half of your soul family with you. The rest of them have spread out a little bit because they've had their own soul contracts. You've got this guy that you promised to love forever. You're together, even if you don't really like each other in this current life because you're not soul family, you're not really supposed to be together, but you made a lock on your soul, a promise to love them forever. Your brain got wiped. You've got amnesia, but your soul made a contract because you've got free will and you promised to love him forever. So congratulations, you love him forever. Now you run into some other random person and they're your daughter, right? Because now you've got a little bit of his soul family with you, not even yours. This guy that you promised to love forever, you found each other, and now you have a daughter that's part of his soul family, right? So you make a vow to protect her, but you have no idea that you made a promise to love him forever, okay? So then you die. Come back again, right? Now you are either with her or with him or both of them because you piled these like contracts on, and then something happens and someone kills the other person, and now it's a karmic tie, and now the next incarnation you find each other again, you kill each other, and your soul family gets further and further and further scattered all over the globe. That's why your soul family is scattered all over the globe right now. You're supposed to be together, but you're not because you have all this karma that you just built up on yourself with soul contracts. Okay, and then you make a vow to leave your rich and wealthy family and be poor because you want to be poor for love. And add that soul contract on. Join a nunnery and make a vow and a promise for poverty and chastity and Lord only knows what else. You just keep adding all this crap onto yourself. So it's not that karma's teaching you a lesson, it's that you are paying the consequences of your free will, and your free will mixed with wiped amnesia makes it to where you got all this crap on your soul and your brain doesn't even remember. And you did it to yourself. That's why I always say that this is the first time in billions of years, if not forever, that we've been able to remember our crap and clean it up. Instead of a massive wipeout flood or whatever, we're doing it this way instead. And healing all that crap gets the gunk out and opens up my spiritual gifts. And although I am very, very, very sure there is not one sky daddy ruling all, that we are all co-creators, I will say this. Heaven, or the ability to leave this fucking planet, was locked up. It's open again. I helped open the pathways, clear the contracts. The seraphim healing that I haven't talked to you guys about yet, it was all about opening heaven again. I'm not the only one doing it. There's lots of us involved. All of us are involved, as a matter of fact, every single human. Basically, we're just cleaning up the mess that we've made. Opening up interdimensional travel again. Rewriting the past to get rid of the trauma and the crap that we've all caused, the human trauma waste. Getting the gunk out of us, remembering that we are more than human, that we can do so much more. Realizing that we didn't just sit at a table and choose this life, that it's from soul contracts from millions of years sometimes. Like I've said before, there's a bunch of co-creators. There are oversouls, all of us as humans. There's one energy that didn't co-create, it just decided to take everybody else's stuff. And to clean it up, all of us, locked up this dimension so that we could clean it up. But Earth has a way longer timeline than up there in the dimensions. And it's taken a while. Nobody punished. There's not fallen angels. There's not demonic beings. Just bullshit and lies and fears to make you guys not remember, to make you guys afraid to heal. I can tell you, every session I do, when we clear a past life, there is a light portal at the end of it now. There didn't used to be until we did the seraphim healing, and that just showed up randomly. I didn't even know it was going to happen. Ever since then, it has. It's been there. Who knows if any of this made sense?